So, we are going to talk about today the enemies of the people. Um, let's see. As you guys can recall, we had the video yesterday, last week, and we stopped in the middle because we thought that um, the comment that our brother is making is quite important for us to pay close attention. So I am going to pull up the video for the day, and we're going to play in between. So listen carefully, listen attentively, because he's making some points that your church leaders will never tell you, so that we can stop fighting each other and identify who the true enemies are, and not each other. Somebody is benefiting while we're fighting each other. Somebody is living their best lives, making money, sending it to Cayman Island, transferring it to London, sending their children to school in the best area, while you and I fight each other. So we will continue this video today because knowledge is power, right? If we know who is doing us, we know how to gather ourselves together and deal with the person.
Yes, my sister pulled up the video. We'll give you a recap of our introduction last week. We told you that according to Kofi Annan, a genocide begins with the killing of one man or one woman, not for what he has done, but because of who he or she is. That's a genocide. And we know what we're dealing with in Africa. We know how people are committing genocide every day, everywhere, because of the resources in the land. We have Biafra genocide, they don't want to discuss, but they will discuss it eventually. So May is a very special month for us because we remember the massacre of the people of Biafra and even the people they called Niger Delta, because their own massacre also happened years before the other massacre. So all the time they keep killing people everywhere. So these generals captured our women, distributed our women among themselves. Growing up, wonder, how is it that all these generals, army general class of 66, all married to Igbo girls? We didn't know it was looted, it was booty from war. So they finished the war, put the Victory Charter, which is the 1999 Constitution, on everybody, through which they passed policies and are still passing policies to take away the resources of the people, took their women, distributed among themselves, shared in the north, shared among themselves. And have Nigerians learned any lesson? No, unfortunately, they are still watching this systematic destruction of other indigenous peoples going on, moving them to IDP camps, renaming their villages and their towns, and people are inside church praying. No, 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 that cannot continue. So who are the enemies of the people? These are the enemies of the people, and the people must know their enemies so that we begin to be part of this advocacy and enlightenment that we're doing. You will be carrying the news and going to spread it to everywhere, because we need to upturn this falsehood and mechanism of self-hate manufactured in Britain against the indigenous ethnic nationalities. So you are part of it. You are from this land and you should be carrying this. You should not be doing any other thing on social media. You should not be dancing. You should not be bringing your private parts on social media when your life is in danger. You are about to be annihilated. So you must be part of this campaign. We need to renegotiate this union of the devil. Thank you. I'll allow my sister to play.
You see lawyers who jump all over the place, trying to pretend that there's something that is the entitlement of the citizen. Nobody's citizens. Slaves are not citizens. Under this constitution, that your sovereignty is taken, all your economic assets taken, and the exclusive lists that make it impossible for you to even partake in any way. With something, a blanket immunity that goes from section 6, section 6D, the one that says everything they did from the 15th of January in 1966 to the 29th of May in 1999. That's 33 whole years. During which period, all the decrees that became constitution in 1979 were instituted. All the things they did to rot this evil were done in those 33 years. The oil and gas assets of the Niger Delta, it was in that period that they took those things and awarded to themselves as oil blocks. It was in that period that they created all these states. It was in that period they had to kill this number of people that we're still discussing today. The ones who killed the Hiroshi, the ones who killed the 3.5 million people in the East, the ones that starved 2 million plus children to death. By this same thing, they are reminding us, like the synopsis told us. If anybody will remember the story in the Bible about the siege on Samaria by Syria, these people that are on a conquest mission, they are weakening us from several fronts. But when you now drag it all the way down to food, then you can be sure that that weakening also targets extermination. And our people are still sleeping, knowing that people are orchestrating these things. It wasn't overnight that our farmers, they didn't just become lazy and stop farming. It was because farming was rendered very dangerous. You went to farm, you were not sure you come back. Meanwhile, they had equipped their own, people. They had done all the irrigations without money.
Resources.
I don't know who and who has irrigation in their own parts in these alliance territories. All the irrigations in the name of having less number of rivers and bodies of water. They had always look at the list of those who have been ministers for agriculture from the last across the last 50 years. Look at the list of those who have been ministers for water resources across the last 50 years. So they control fertilizer because they will never allow anybody. Those are some of the portfolios that they don't share with anybody. And so you see the river basin authorities, these are all the things they instituted from the days of the military, even into the civilian era. Check, even when Obasanjo came, even when, because they will not, because they control the back end of everything that will happen. All those who stand in front, Obasanjo president, Jonathan president, Tinubu president. The matters are deeper than Peter Obi that is hoping to come in, that doesn't understand the head and tail of anything, citing statistics of Bangladesh. So I'm touching on all of this to let us know that we have a clear understanding of the hidden mechanisms by which they have managed to hold our people down for this length of time. We had it was part of our strategy not to shout about those things until we hit the major target, which is the constitution into which they domiciled all those control mechanisms, all those confiscating mechanisms, all those enshackling mechanisms, all those expropriating mechanisms. Most unfortunately for them, they put our signature at the base of the document in that preamble to say that we, the people, having firmly and solemnly resolved to live together, do hereby make and give unto ourselves the following constitution. So all of what they got from before 1914, because we were already tied up. We were already tied up before 1914. 1914 was when they handed us over, they annexed us, they annexed southern Nigeria to northern Nigeria, back to Harcourt. When Harcourt was asked in that telegram, he says, we have freed that is explaining that they have they're about to betroth. You know how you take a child and hand over to an older person to say, this girl will be your wife from the time the girl may be 5 years or any, or less or more, but less than the age of marriage. And then you hand the child over in betrothal to an adult male. Let me read from that telegram of 1913. I quote, that is Lord Harcourt, the one after whom, the criminal after whom Port Harcourt is named. He says, we have released northern Nigeria from the leading strings of the treasury. The promising and well-conducted youth is now on an allowance of his own and is about to effect an alliance with a southern lady of means. I have issued the special license, and Sir Frederick Lugard will perform the ceremony. May the union be fruitful and the couple constant. End of quote. Secretary of the colonies, Harcourt, who is the boss of Frederick Lugard, referring to the import and purport of the annexation of the then Protectorate of Southern Nigeria to then Protectorate of Northern Nigeria, cablegram of 31st December 1913, just the day before it was announced, the amalgamation was announced on the 1st of January of 1914. The reason I'm reading this is to 1914 to 2024 is 110 years already. It was in celebration of, so we can understand how we got into this and how the enemy had managed to keep us where they wanted us in that joint venture with the British, in which the British is leading the caliphate. I will still come down to the mask of the alliance of 1967 by which that caliphate has been able to sustain the last 55 years of this bondage. We are touching on all of this so that our people can understand our disposition. The reason we are going to be very hard on our own people, it is our own people that made it possible for them to keep us this long.
Yes. Yes.
It is our own people who decided to go to make profit for themselves that didn't mind what all the other everybody else was doing to try to liberate the entire community. That is how so that alliance of 1967 was the reinforcement of that caliphate, bringing in renegade elements from the Yoruba flank, from the coastal east, and even from the core, from the South Igbo of the core of the east, the Dottin Seko. They always have renegade elements. The Benjamin Kalu that wants to go and write new constitution today, the Oji Kalu that have been with them in every wearing turban, the Rochas Okorocha that have been with them, and several others. The one that wrote the 1976 draft for them that became constitution. The Olisabakoba that is guiding them today. Without all these people, they wouldn't have gotten this far. The Obasanjo that overruled even the Constituent Assembly by the 17 amendments he announced to the finished work of the Constituent Assembly. Shame on the media in Nigeria that continues to parade their ignorance. I'm sure some of us, is there anybody present in this meeting who saw the interview on Channel TV of Victor Atta with the crew of I can't remember their names now, the lady Mogbe and the other fellow. They were talking of this 1979 constitution as something that was done by the people, and that the government took time to get a discussion going in 1999 when they set up Nikki Toby Kopdewa, telling the story of how most people insisted that they will go back to 1979, which the government then did. What is wrong with that? Is it not a Constituent Assembly that did all of what was done in 1979? That's what journalists that went to school that have been listening to what we have been saying across the last 24 years are saying inside March of 2024 on national television. Whereas we know for certain that the 1977 Constituent Assembly, the one person that wrote the draft for Murtala Mohammed at the invitation of Rotimi Williams, you can see who and who. Rotimi Williams is commissioned by Murtala Mohammed on behalf of the Caliphate. He instructed, semi-literate he is. So that instruction, I have it on good authority, and I can actually name that instruction of what Murtala Mohammed handed over to Rotimi Williams came from England, came from the British end. Oh, we have won this war. You have to retain everything for yourself. Nobody, you can't share with anybody, so that we can have absolute control. Murtala Mohammed hands it over to Rotimi Williams. Rotimi Williams goes round, ends up with this university teacher called Ben Mabeze. And between them, they now made it even more watertight than the people intended. That's the confession, and that's the confession that Victor Atta was reading out at the Lagos colloquium of Ben Mabeze that did the writing. 75, that was the first task Murtala Mohammed gave out when he came. Using our own people for the benefits they got, because I know the ones that got bank chairmanship, Union Bank of the time, for doing that dirty task. Look at where we are today. Obasanjo did the finishing for them. Look at where we are today, because even the Constituent Assembly rejected the states that were created as basis of federate, as units to federate. In that 1977, they didn't want the retention of the states that Gowon created to fracture the four regions in circumstances that confiscated their assets into the hands of that illicit federal government that emerged. And so we are now unraveling all these things through and through in the lock, in the divine intervention of them putting our signature on the totality of these atrocities that took so long to put together. Because they combined what the British had gotten for them with what they got from the war, with all of what they added in between those 33 years that they have claimed immunity under Section 6, subsection 6C of that Constitution. If anything happens to that Constitution today, if anything happens to that Constitution like it is already happening, the collapse of that Section 6, subsection 6D, immediately puts the class of 66, all those generals that killed all these people, that seized all the economic assets of everybody in the name of one concession or the other, oil block or port concession, and all kinds of things in between, that has brought this level of poverty that is ravaging Nigeria. Some are digging gold. Guzo and Co., National Security Advisor. All these things you see happening in Zamfara. They shared everything among themselves in consequence of their victory from the war. Well, everybody cooperated with them, thinking it's only the Igbo that will lose. But they knew where they were going. They used everybody to put down who they can put down, eventually turning around to the people that did the work for them. Where's Gowon today? What's happened to the Beron people? Where's David Mark today? David Mark was the chairman of the task force who threw out the Igbo from their properties in Port Harcourt. Look at the Doma people today, being slaughtered like ram and chicken. But David Mark is a multi-billionaire, flying in private jet and flying helicopter to work. The story is the same across board. These people deliberately destroyed all of what held us together, set their own kinds of boundaries, and got our own people to do the finishing for them. Because the Constituent Assembly that rejected the 12 states that Murtala Mohammed had made 19, they said, no, let's go back to the regions by which we federated. We can moderate, but let it not be this kind of dismantling to take over the assets. The Constituent Assembly rejected the presidential system, that it will accumulate power in the manner we have seen. Constituent Assembly could not have touched land use decree. that was imposed unilaterally. Content Assembly could not have approved the NYSC Act. That's another campaign that we're going to launch sooner than later. Let us finish with the urgent task. The NYSC decree of 1973. For those who have been proudly wearing their uniform of NYSC, you don't question anything. We had a problem that took us to war. War ended. Instead of going to solve the issues that are
Oh God, this videos this video is unbelievable. Like you want to keep listening and listening and listening. Imagine if we had all this information all along. It would have been a game changer, hopefully. So I actually went past because it's like my heart is doing this. Like, really? So we have adults, we have PhD holders, we have professors, we have sand, we have Ndemo, we have everything, and we are being taken for a ride by elite.
It's crazy.
Hi, go ahead, my sister.
So as a recap, we've heard this in the video, but we'll give you, recap because we'll pull up the PowerPoint so that people will say ignorante, ifunanya. So if your ear know the work, your eye go the work. If you know they hear the one where they talk for ear, you go read them. So that's why we pull up the PowerPoint, and almost everything is inside it. So that if you're looking at it, even if you are deaf, at least you are seeing. You can tell somebody, I better read this thing for me, waiting they talk, because you must hear them. So we're talking about hidden mechanisms that they put in place to hold indigenous peoples down. Because the problem is the resources in your land. They want it at all costs. So they need to tie you down everywhere, very well. Tie your leg, your hand, your head, everywhere, so you don't move, and they can be taking
With
everything.
the help of your brothers and sisters.
With the help of your brothers. They were called willing tools. So in the South, because the South put up resistance as we are coming, because they lie a lot, say, oh no, the people just, as if our people just waited for them to come and conquer them. No, our people fought hard. So in the South, they met strict resistance. And that's what made them to now decide to enforce colonialism by themselves. They use military. Direct rule, that's what they use in the southern part, because the southern people were smart, ready to fight them. So they knew it was war, that they would not just conquer the South anyhow like that. So they had to be in charge. So we told you there are three tools they use for this colonialism: ignorance, fear, and military terror. If ignorance no work, if fear no work, they will roll in the barrels. They will roll in the machines and get, like you see my sister telling us the story of what they did as Sochi. What is Sochi, right? Well, our people thought that they were even thinking that let them go and use their Egbentu. They didn't know these people came prepared. They blew them up, blew up everything that we're doing. So our people did not even understand the nature of the enemy. It's only now, thank God for Nina's research, that they had to even break into archives to get documents. Now we are beginning to understand the mindset of the enemies we are dealing with that are not here to play with us.
They are not.
So in the southern part, because of the strict resistance they met, they decided to administer the southern part of Nigeria themselves using military and ammunition, serious ones, powerful ones. But in the north, because already there's emirate system in the north, where the emir, the Fulani, the Caliphate conquered the Hausa nations, the Hausa peoples, the indigenous peoples. We call them Hausas, but we know there are many. Hausa is their lingua franca, but there are many indigenous peoples there. There are a lot of them. If you start calling their names, they're there and they know their lands. But Caliphate Fulani nation had already come in from 1804 to conquer them and put their emirates. That's why you hear emir of this, emir of that. That's not what they had before. So they put that in place. So the people were already subdued in the system called feudalism, where the emir owns the whole land. and
Yeah,
give
which is
to the
similar to British rule.
exactly similar to British. That's why we told that these criminal gangs, they are the same. Fulani is coming with Emirates. Britain is coming with monarch system. So coming from the south, coming from the north, and they met, put hands together, went to Zungeru, handed over their baton, and said, okay, we have conquered them. Let's put the victory charter on them. So before the 1914 amalgamation, they used the enemies of the people to tie the people up. They were walking on the ground. Our people did not understand the enemy they were dealing with. So from the video or the audio that we played for you, which is in our platform, they penetrated our people, used some criminal elements. The people that, like in my own land, in Igbo land, we don't kill criminals. What we do, we excommunicate them, send them out, banish them to the evil forest. So, because we don't want to spill their blood. You see how sincere our people were. They banish them to evil forest just so that they don't pollute the state, the society. That's why they do that. So if you stay there and you then repent, because they're banishing you, just like what God did with Cain. When Cain killed his brother Abel, God banished him away from the society. And when we tell our people that what we practice is recorded in the Bible, our culture as Indibo is recorded in this Bible you're carrying. If you don't know the culture, then it's like you don't know. If you know the culture and you have read the Bible, you will know that the Old Testament is record of the culture of Ndibo and some other indigenous peoples, because we're not the only ones, but you will know, you find out. So as we're saying, these people were banished to evil forest. So as the colonial masters and their missionaries and their agents, and they were coming in, they were the ones they met and used them and worked against the people. So before 1914, they had worked on the ground, and then 1914, they finished the amalgamation and did everything. So 1940 is now handing over. That's the amalgamation. They had tied everybody down. So they tied everybody down and passed us finally to the enemy. They confiscated our sovereignty without reference to the owners of the land. And that is what the politicians are still doing today. They are carrying on what the colonial monsters did. They go to Abuja, stay there. They don't send you. They don't send you. They die, you know they die, be their business. All they know to stay in Abuja, marry many women as much as they can, squander money and have fun. Have all the children littered everywhere. They are just replicating what the colonial monsters did. That's what we call it neo-colonialism. Because now we have internal colonizers.
Yep.
Internal colonizers, when we thought we were having independence, we didn't have independence. Got external colonizers handed over to internal colonizers. That's why it's called neo-colonialism. Because each time we say, oh, colonialism, people will say, oh, but the white man is not here. Is it the white man that is doing it to you? The white man has gone. Is your own people doing it? It's the same project. They just camouflaged it, removed their hands, and selected these criminals and handed us over to them and put their constitution on top of us. The constitution that is worse than apartheid constitution.
Create many avenues for them to continue the work.
Exactly. So when we now look, we say, the white man is not here. Some people that are shallow in their thinking. The white man is not here. Why are you calling the white man?
They will welcome them when they come to Abuja.
Yes.
People that colonized you, that enslaved you. You welcome them and be singing glorified song for them when they show up in Abuja.
Yes.
On you guys,
your gods have come. That's what we told you people. Colonialism is not over. That's why they keep coming. When they give birth to children, they will marry. Their children will come and examine the farmland that their forefathers got for them.
Hey.
Colonialism is not over. And you see your so-called leaders tying their hair like ogri. And laughing like goats. They send them in. Ndibo, listen now. They brought them in because they know the work we are doing, the work of advocacy and enlightenment that we are doing. So from time to time, they will come in. So to show you that they are with you. No,
to do their litmus test to see if you guys are still in sync.
They're not coming for you. They're coming for solidarity, to show solidarity to the puppets they put in place. They're not coming for you. That's why you see Ndibo listen. They visited the north. the three partners, they visited the north, visited the southwest. Did they visit east? No.
Even if they did, even if they do visit.
No. It was to understand they won't. They won't visit east because you are conquered. You are conquered through Biafra. Your land is a conquered territory. Nigeria is conquered, but your own is conquered ×2 because you're in a Nyensobu. Your trouble is too much, so they have to tie you more. And I'm saying this, and I don't know how I want to shout with my hand on my head. This so-called Hanese or whatever Igbo development, whatever they call themselves, these people that you call elders, listen to me. Listen to the daughters of the land. These people came in, visited them in the north, visited in south, and invited you to come and meet them in Lagos. And you went there to name them Ifoma. Who do you think you're brainwashing? Who do you think you're brainwashing? Who do you think you're brainwashing? I asked you how many times. Who do you think you're brainwashing? You elders of Ndibo. What will happen to you? Continue what you're doing. Continue what you're doing. Our people are waking up. They are beginning to understand what is going on. I'm telling you. What's upon Anyun? Be careful. Be careful what you're doing to Ndibo. Be careful what you're doing to Ndibo. Be careful. What's upon Anyun? They confiscated our sovereignty without reference to the owners of the land because they do not matter. You are illiterate. You're native. Who are you? You'll be hobnobbing with Emeka Anyoko, Okonji Iweala. The people that
agents that was sent to hold you down, and you guys are there acknowledging all of them in 2024. This is not 1924. 2024.
You don't matter. You are the owner of the land, but you don't matter. They discuss with the puppets they put over you, and you're laughing, dancing on social media. Rather than mourning, you should be wearing black cloths. Get ashes, pour on your head, and mourn. Every Igbo person should be mourning. All the Nigerians extended to you, you should all be mourning because your children are being destroyed. You should not be laughing. You should not be on social media doing anything. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be mourning. They put all these meeting mechanisms to control and hold the indigenous peoples down. You can see the semi-literate Muritala Muhammad in 1975, because we're giving you these hidden mechanisms, things that you can go and verify. 1975, they gave him instruction. Britain gave him instruction, and he came and gave that instruction to a poor university teacher, Ben Nwabweze. Yes, he was poor then, because you have to be poor to be selling your people off. They gave him the instruction to write a unitary constitution that will take everything from his own people and hand it over to the white people. He said he thought they were trying to unite Nigeria. You thought wrong. And you call yourself a lawyer. You could not examine the instructions. You could not go and meet your elders and say, please, see what they gave me to write. This thing, are we trying to tell our people down? What does it mean? No, you went ahead for a handsome reward. And then when they finished, they gave you Union Bank or whatever. Dash it to you. Then your children are benefiting from it. If your father was Ben Nwabweze, you better come and begin to undo what your father did. The proceed you're enjoying is proceed of blood. Your father sold our people. And all that money that people are enjoying is blood money. And when an Igbo will stand, you will pay for it.
Amen.
Go ask Mwigwe. Go ask Mwigwe how far. These are the people they used to play front in Alo Bank, your owning bank. Meanwhile, the bank is to steal the resources from the people. And you are managing it for them. When they finish, they will eliminate you. Listen now and listen good. Because of what you will gain, you sell our people. Go to China, see what they do to people that sell them. Because we are here doing church, because they use church to brainwash all of us. In 1979, after Muritala, some young people have sent Muritala to go and meet his God and have a conversation with him. 1979, Obasanjo took over from what his boss, Muritala, started.
Sure.
And introduced 17 amendments to the finished work of Constituent Assembly, the Indiobudo, the owners of the land. They said this is how we want to relate. We want true federalism, where each person will develop at their own pace. We don't want to confiscate our people. We don't want to tie everybody down under one envelope so that someone that wants to run 120, the other one wants to run 20. All of us, they recognized the diversity in the area. They recognized our different worldviews. They recognized our entity, our culture, our language, that everything different. And they said, what will work for us is true federalism. They went and did their constitutions and then brought everything together. 1979. Obasanjo single-handedly introduced 17 amendments that tied our people. That Obasanjo that you're celebrating. Now, the eastern and southern petroleum resources are held in stronghold with the help of the 1999 Constitution, which is a newer edition of 1979 Constitution. There's no difference. This is the tool of control and domination. They are being exploited on a daily basis while the people are in abject poverty. So you saw the your youths that came out this week as they were celebrating in the memory of Isaac Boro, because Isaac Boro was the first young man that said, my people have to be free. Of course, they eliminated him. They always use one set of indigenous people to eliminate another set of indigenous people, use the other one to eliminate the other one. See, that's the game they've been playing. But thank God for Ninas. We are now working hand in hand. The colonial masters didn't think that would happen. They thought we will continue to fight. No, we are no more fighting. That's why we say, stop fighting one another. This is not fight. We have a common enemy. Why are we fighting? So Ninas is bringing all of us together to understand that I'm an Igbo woman. I don't have any problem with an Ijaw person. I don't have any problem with the Yoruba people. I don't have any problem with Hausa people. We all have our lands. We just need to collaborate and work together because that's how the enemy is working. The enemy, they collaborate 1884, 1885, what we call Berlin Conference. That's them forming alliance. That's the criminals forming alliance and balkanizing all of us. So why can't we work together? So that's why as Ninas, we came together to work hand in hand because we need to collaborate. Though we are different, but we can collaborate. Mutual respect, mutual love, and everybody will be comfortable. No matter your size, no matter the size of your land, no matter the size of your population, we can collaborate. We don't need to dominate over anyone. That's why we say that 1999 Constitution, which is the tool for domination and control of all the ethnic nationalities, must go down because we did not make it. It's a colonial tool and it's going down. We'll show you some of these enemies that we're talking about. Because when you understand the enemies, you understand the mechanism they are operating. Because we are talking about hidden mechanisms that they put to control the indigenous people. But people have to you have different people leading those mechanisms. So when they put the one mechanism, they get somebody in charge of it. So we're going to give you examples of these people that we are operating these hidden mechanisms for them. Those writing draft constitutions for the colonial monsters. Yes. The Ben Nwabweze. The other Uncle Ben that is in I wonder why they keep answering Benjamin. Well, does he have anything to do?
No, I'm Dutch and I had the colonial masters now.
Yeah, but why is he Ben Nwabweze already the first one. There's this Ben that is in National Assembly. He's saying you give them constitution in 1 month, I'll be in 1 year.
The one, the Anyoko guy.
No. There's another guy now that said in National Assembly that he was going to give a constitution, a new constitution in one year. I've forgotten his last name. They don't answering Ben. I'm a Neji Ben. We're going to hug. Very soon we'll stop naming our children Ben because we don't know what is going on. So these people, we're talking of hidden mechanisms and the people operating it. Those writing draft constitutions, because if you went to law school, I'm sure some of you didn't go. These lawyers, when they went to law school, they were under Ukumangoro. under the mango tree chasing women. So they didn't attend classes because the first class of jurisprudence would have taught you that constitution is made by the constituent members of the nation. You
Our brother,
don't go.
which is Benjamin Carlo.
Okay, Benjamin Carlo. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, there was as a Benjamin one Benjamin Carlo. Ebe kesi bupute ndị ara from Igbo people. Jukwa no na ajụjụ. Where are you getting all these evil sons from? Are they ignorant or wicked? Which one is worrying them? Please take them into the house and go and cancel them. So anyone that is coming to write draft constitution without reference to the owners of the land
He's a criminal.
is a criminal and is operating hidden mechanism of the colonial monsters. Go and tell them. Number 2, criminal. Dumb journalists who have refused to do proper investigative journalism. But are on the side of those that are killing the people. They've refused to be with their people. They do, I don't know. Ndiotu, where is that man? Ruben Obati. What's that man answering? Obati.
Yeah, you can ask me people's name.
Yes. What's his name? Please write for us. That man Abati or whatever he calls himself. I look at him and say, why is it that even when people are huge, like the brain cell they have is very small. It's not functioning properly. And he calls himself a journalist. All those people on Arise TV, they will be there entertaining themselves. They will never discuss the thing that the people meaningful. And these people are educated. Some are even educated in foreign land. Of course, we know now they're brainwashed. That's the system of education they have. In the name of brown envelope. So they give you brown envelope. Instead of you to be with the people, you're against the people because you want to do shine fine. Okay, Ruben Abati, thank you, my brother. Please go and tell him, share this thing with him. Tell him that we are seeing his fake journalism, his brain. And the thing about this is that these things are recorded. Your children and grandchildren will see what you're saying. In the time where people are dying and need to be set free, you're asking stupid questions in the name of journalism. You even have brain? Dumb journalists. Another set, the multi-billionaires are trading with the lives and blood of their people. People like David Mark from Middle Belt. Your people are poor and being massacred. But the enemy used you and paid you off. Now you're a billionaire. And you know, if initially I was asking myself, how is it that the billionaires in Nigeria are not smart?
Not helping.
No, they're not smart. Like discussing when once in a while you discuss and then sometimes you see them on interview when they're talking, they sound stupid.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, so how did they make this money? So are they not even just out of touch? They can't critically think. They are not able to reason properly because their money, they didn't make it with their brain. They sold their people and they were given the money. That's how they became multi-billionaires. That's why I don't celebrate any multi-billionaire anything. I don't, not in Nigeria. How are you multi-billionaire where every other person is very poor? It doesn't mean that your brain, they manufactured it from heaven. Your own brain is different. And you're so intelligent that it's only you that can make money. Your neighbors are poor, and you're happy with your life. We're talking about the enemies. Our own people who are still holding us down, holding our assets, holding our ancestral lands, holding our resources under the yoke of 1999 Constitution because of their personal ambitions. People like Peter Obi. Peter Obi will sell even his or something to make sure he gets to that presidency. He's ready to sell everyone. He's selling Ndibo. He will wrap Ndibo Nine. Sell over to Caliphate and Britain. And he has finalized it. And with the help of your sons and your daughters. So anyone swearing to uphold and keep the 1999 Constitution is enemy number one. No matter at the level, local government to state, whatever they are the ones holding the chains of the enemy on the people. Of course, our traditional governance structure is already destroyed. So when you hear Igwe, Oba, this one, all these current things you have that are paying them money, monthly salary, why are they giving them money now? Because they are giving them money so that they will become enemy of their people. They are being paid to spy their own people and report direct to Britain and report to Abuja. Anything. They tell you, yes, I'll call that one. Why are you having direct access to Britain and Abuja? Because you're being paid to spy on your people. They are no more on the side of the people. They defend the colonial unitary Nigeria, not the indigenous peoples. And they're supposed to be the custodians of our culture. But they are not. Because all these people, find out how they got into this space. They were imposed on the people. So that's what we're saying. We're mentioning these things for you, so that you're listening to us, you will go and see. Don't ask them question direct. We have some youths that are already going. One particular went to ask this Eze or whatever. Ask him, do you know this? They say, we don't know. We did this. I say, okay, why are you supporting what you don't know? So you need to go and meet them. That's why we're here. We're not saying you should go and cause mayhem. No. Go, send delegates to them. Ask them, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you selling us? Why are you doing this? Have you not heard of Nina's? Have you not heard of 1999 consider that you need to go down, that we did not make it? Go and ask them questions. Let them answer you directly. Because the land belongs to you. Everything is yours. Why are you suffering? Why are you and your children not able to eat? Ifechi Ezonyekwelu, he said P2B idiots, and his zombie followers are called zombie idiots.
I could have come up with that one. That is interesting.
Interesting. Have you shared this show? Please do not watch alone. Help others. Open the eyes of our people. Open the minds of our people. Subscribe. Hit love and like. We can do this job. We are able to do it. Others have done it. We can do it. Let me leave my sister to continue. Thank you.
All right, so we are going to continue with the video. Like she said, continue to help us to share. We are making headway. I promise you, we are making headway. Do not feel discouraged, not by the numbers, not by anything. Our people are asking the right questions. And we are extremely grateful for those that are engaged. And we're waiting for our brothers and sisters to rise up, because we know once you guys get up, it's over. It's over for the enemy. So mind you, these people have been doing the same thing. The same way they will use our brothers and sisters as Kotuma over us, for lack of a better word, warrant chiefs. That's the same way they use rappers here in America to kill African American brothers and sisters.
Yes.
So Apple will pay them to sing songs about destroying their own communities and, on life in their brothers and sisters, and they will be rewarded handsomely. So it's the same people doing the same thing.
It is.
Their children are continuing in their legacy. They are not hiding at all. It's up to us to understand what is doing us, so that we can identify the enemies and be through with it. Oh my goodness, that's not what I want to do.
Please continue to hit the like buttons so that will counter the algorithm.